All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this is a good viewer request mix here. We're going to look at MAXN as you see on the screen, OPTT, and then GWAV. So I don't believe I've covered the first two before. I for sure have covered GWAV before. So MAXN, look, I mean, the biggest thing to catch my eye is down here, all right? We have surpassed 400 million shares twice. We've basically been living at 200 million shares per day, all right? This is an ugly chart, and I'll definitely talk about that shortly, but volume is king, all right? Volume is queen for my ladies out there, and with enough volume, bad things kind of go away very quickly, all right? So this thing's close, this thing is close, but we definitely need a little bit more before we start to believe, all right? OPTT, Ocean Power. So this thing has made a big move and is now trying to figure out what it's going to do next, all right? We're clearly over all the moving averages. It looks like we've been over all the moving averages for the last 2 weeks, but look, I hope you see it before I'm about to say it. We have not confirmed, all right? We need that confirmation to believe that there's more, all right? Golden Cross looks like another Golden Cross is probably going to come on Monday. That's definitely a good thing, right? But I need just a little bit more from the candles up here, all right? And then the last one, GWAV. Look, GWAV is close, all right? When I look at GWAV, I kind of actually look at the game chart. It's so close, right? I also remember, what was the other one that we talked about? Oh, I forgot. Whatever. Nonetheless, look, this thing is close. The problem is, am I frozen? Excuse me, a little bit of my issue right now is going to be volume, all right? And look, 10 million is still a big number. I realize I was talking about 200 million on the first one, but going from 10 million-ish to 1 million, that's a 90% drop. And again, if volume is king and queen, you know, bad volume is going to be a bad thing, right? So it's close. We just need a little bit more for sure, all right? So, MAXN. Excited to talk about all these for sure, but before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There aren't any. I don't think I've covered this one before, but I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it all, right? So, MAXN. So normally I start up here, all right? I definitely care way more about up here than these 3 below, but I have to start with the volume here, all right? 2 things. Let's even take a step back. All right. So before this just monster 2-week volume, right? Basically the start of the month. What was this thing doing? This thing was at 4 million. This thing was at 4.7. Here's a good day. This thing was at 13. This one looks like a low one of 1.5. This was an under 10 million shares a day stock, right? When you basically, 20x that and go from 10 to 200, a lot can easily happen, all right? And the volume really is the big story here. Now look, I'm actually seeing more people buying and holding than selling. All right, I often talk about accumulation. You need both good volume and accumulation. All right, so these 2 right here are over 800. Right, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, roughly speaking. So I'm going to say that those right there cancel out these 2. This is still a little bit bigger than this one. All right, and it's not a monster accumulation, all right, but it looks like some people are trying to hold this thing and see what happens over the weekend. My concern, though, is I'm seeing a good downtrend on the buying, right? So there's a lot going on with volume down here, all right? I'm going to get back to volume. Up here, this is definitely what matters, all right? And what are we looking for? We're looking for a break of, if you break the 8, you should be able to go to the 20. When you add the fact that it's just red, 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 green, 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 it really could be what looks like a fast move from 25 to 75, give or take, right? And those are obviously some silly, silly numbers right there, okay? The truth is, too, there's not a lot of lines I can draw, right? That is the only green candle right there, and then it's just kind of a boom, boom, take up right there, right? The one thing I want to say, and I've said this a bunch of on a number of stocks, all right? One thing that happens is, look, you fall away from the 8, you come back to the 8. You fall away from the 8, you come back to the 8. You fall away from the 8, you come back to the 8. There's no guarantee that we're going up. We might be continuing the pattern and continuing to fall down. And look, as I zoom out, fall away from the 8, come to the 8. Fall away from the 8, come to the 8. Fall away from the 8, come to the 8. It basically takes 1, 2, 3 months for it to kind of start to go again, all right? And, you know, we've done about a month of this. I don't know if there's another 2, right? I'm not necessarily saying it's a 1-for-1, but as I just zoom out, I mean, look at this thing, right? This stock has basically been under the 8 and the 20, let alone under all the moving averages since, I mean, what, August of 23, right? So it's been a good while. We've been well under these lines for a year. And as easy as it is to say 2 things, number 1, it's been down here so long, it's due. And then number 2, my goodness, this thing was at $25. Now it's at 25 cents. What a deal. Both of those will lose you a lot of money. I'm telling you, I've lost a lot of money that way, and I try not to think like that, all right? But I will say this. I will say this, and I always say this. If you make me believe that we've broken the 8 moving average, this green line right here, all I can do is think we're heading to the 20, right? So I can't stress that enough, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Maybe, and you know what, I'll be honest, I think I'm actually going to do it right now. I think I'm going to set an alert for, oh man, did it wick 27? Interesting. So I'll tell you what I was about to say. I'm going to tell you what I just saw. Obviously, it's all about that 27 cents. So normally when I draw my horizontal lines, it's on the green open, the green outlines, all right? Because this green outline opens down here. You can see it in the box over there. Opens at 19, goes up. That's a good day. This filled in one actually opens at 30 cents and then loses 10%, dropping all the way down to 27. All right, so yeah, it's green. It definitely was higher than yesterday, but I'm actually seeing more people lose 10% right there than anything. You know what I mean? So that's not necessarily a good candle, but my thought was, hey, if we can get to about the open of this, hey, maybe that's going to make me believe we're going to start to go up. When I look at Friday, we actually wicked that. We hit that 27. So I'm going to set an alert for 28. Let's see what we can do if we hit 28 cents. Look, I understand that I'm giving up, what, almost 20%, right? Every 2 cents is about 10%, right? Yes, that is actually 20% because we're adding 4 cents to that 28. So I am giving up 20%. I'm cool giving that up, hoping that I'm going to basically go from like 30 to that 70 something that we just talked about, right? So make me believe, but do not underestimate the get to the 8, lose the 8, get to the 8, lose the 8, get to the 8, and potentially lose the 8 right here. Listen, if this goes any lower then I'll even call it 20 cents. It looks like it's basically 19. Looks like it's right there. If this goes any lower than 19, all I can think about is all-time lows, all-time lows, all-time lows, all-time lows. Look, this thing has been under all the moving averages for a while, all right? This goes away from the 8, comes to the 8, goes away from the 8, comes to the 8, and then so on and so forth, right? This 8 moving average is all the way up at 130. I think that is a ridiculously high, that's a crazy high. I would put a line right here, 44. I like that. Clearly, I would have never drawn the line right there on the weekly chart. I mean, sorry, on the daily chart, because it's there. There's nothing but black nothingness right there, right? So why would I draw that? But yeah, went to the weekly. I got, roughly speaking, half of that big candle. I would love to get in at around 28 cents, take this all the way up to 44, call it a day. Hey, whatever your risk reward, risk tolerance is, I'm not here to tell you what to buy and sell, right? I'm just giving you opinions. Another danger line you can use is actually maybe 21 cents, 22, 21, right? If this goes back below that 8 moving average, I would be really scared. And hey, maybe you'll save yourself a quick 10% before it goes really quickly back to 19, all right? MAXN, volume is going to be important. It's really, really, really important that this thing maintains at the minimum. I was going to say 250, but that's the last good green one, and that's actually a little closer to 3. We need 350. I need 350 million shares traded on Monday. In a 7-hour day, I need 50 million shares in that first hour. I need about 100 million shares in the second hour. Obviously, more would be better. This one's close. I think there are a lot of better setups out there that are a little bit less risky than this one, all right? But hey, believe me, I'm a gambler myself, and I love the big rushes, and yeah, this could bring a nice big move if it hits, you know what I mean? A couple cents are big percentages, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into OPTT. And you know, this is one we've been talking a lot on the Discord, actually. OPTT 26 results. I don't even remember when the first one is. I mean, look, we've been looking at this thing for a good minute now. I know recently on a couple we were talking about earnings. All right, so it looks like earnings are going to be on the 25th. Okay, that's at least as of yesterday. If someone has better information, please let the group know, right? But earnings always scare me. They really do. All right. That said, the 25th's a while away. There are a number of trading days well before the 25th, and I think if this thing gives itself another reason to jump in, you can make a good move and hit eject. Again, you know I like to hit eject before earnings, right? But you can avoid that earnings gamble if you really want. All right. So real quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, oh, it does wonders with these algorithms. All right. So look, this thing made a monster move. All right. And a lot of the reason for the monster move was twofold. All right. Number one, hey, if you're going to bring in a 600 million day, if you're going to bring in a 400 million day, those are some wild numbers. And those are numbers that help break moving averages. The other thing is that's actually a decent spacing between now don't get me wrong, this is not the best of spacing, and I know on other videos I would have said this was probably really tight, and this is a little bit like hindsight 2020, right? But the spacing was there. It wasn't super tight, and I mean, really, more than anything, you just see it just rides the 8 moving average pretty well. All right. I started the video by saying, look, yeah, we have physically been over all the moving averages, right? Well, I guess not these last 2 days, but we've been basically over them all 5 of these for most of the week, all right? The issue is we never really confirm. Okay, that's the first candle over all of them, and that on its own isn't even that big a candle. This thing right here, this candle basically destroys that right there. The gap up is arguably a decent confirmation, but this candle right here on July 1st did not break the 200. So this was the break of the 200. So even that gap up confirming the 100, it isn't actually what we're looking for. We're looking to confirm all 5 and fly, right? The thing is, though, look, all here from here, we've how do I say this? So instead of just tanking, all right, what the stock did was go horizontal, and it gave the 8 moving average a chance to catch up. And really, this is the point where it's either going to get back over and then keep going, or it's going to lose this and we're heading right back down. All right, I think about 28, 29 is going to be the low number, maybe 30 cents. We'll just call it 30. But the problem is, if we fall to 30, that's a little bit more than a 20% fall right there, right? Every 3 cents is 10%. We're falling a little bit more than 6 right there, right? So that would be a pretty scary fall if it happens. The one thing I'm going to go back to, right? I do think that this gap up confirms the 100. I don't believe we're going to go any lower than 24. But again, that's a horrible drop from here. And I think for now, the immediate number is basically that 29.30 cents we were just talking about. All right. What we need is this thing to get back over 40 cents. I'm clicking on 41 right now. And then ultimately regain this 45. All right. If this thing can get to 45 cents, I'm actually probably going to set myself an alert. Give me that 46-cent alert. I wouldn't mind knowing that. If we can get into that 46 cents, I mean, just look at this chart, right? It's essentially red, 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 red. Could be a nice move up, right? This has been under that 200 moving average since back here in 2021. We've hit the 200, we've hit the 200, we've hit the 200. We kind of got over, but we came back down. We hit it, we kind of got back over. Like we've been dancing with this line for a very long time. This is the hardest line for a reason, all right? And oh man, I know we're over it, but yeah, we need to believe that we've confirmed, broken, and we're ready to break all 5 and run. All right. So again, 41 is that. Okay, let me quantify it like this. 41 is my minimum consideration for this thing to be good. As it stands right now, I'm not necessarily a fan of it. It is technically bullish because hey, we're going over the 8, the 20's coming up, and like I said, it has to me established a strong point at 24, and to say that is a very, very strong thing on a stock that was sitting at 12 cents and going down, 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 all-time lows, right? So the fact that we've established a good stronghold at 24, I would say this is the strongest point too. I can see this maybe coming down to 24 until earnings, good earnings taking it up, right? Otherwise, we need to get to 41. I set my alert at 46, right? So I want to get back here and make me believe. Where are we going to go from here? All right, let's see. Where's this line? Let me at least draw that. I'm curious. Look at that, 46. I swear, I don't do this early, right? I'm not here pretending to be that guru, dude. Like, I love it, though. When I make a click and it hits the number, that's just a little nice reassurance, right? And then I'm going to say that right there. Lovely. Look at that. So I took the bottom of that. It was the top of that. It was the top of that. That's about it. But, hey, I'll take that. If we break that 46, I'm going to be hoping for a ride up to 66. Maybe we'll slow down a little bit at 58, but I don't think so. I think that could be a good move right there. So OPTT, make the move before earnings. I don't care what the stock is. I don't care if it's a blue chip or a penny like this one. Earnings always scares me, right? That's part of my strategy. So I would love to make the move between now and the 25th, hit some money in the bank, and then, you know, see what earnings looks like and attack from there, right? So did I look at the weekly? I don't remember. Oh, I didn't. Look at this thing. This is interesting because look, what I'm seeing right now, and I'm making assumptions, right, is this 100 moving average looks like next week on the open of Monday, it's going to just come down a little bit and it might come at 48, and it looks like sorry, 46, and it looks like that 46 is going to be a big number. You can see it was sitting at 48 this week, and that's basically what we wicked. We also wicked that last week, right? So that 100 moving average on the weekly is a very important line. We've definitely not been over it since that same 2021 year I mentioned on the daily chart. We've wicked it the last 2 times. It's about to come to that line. Let's see how it hits. So I'm liking these lower indicators down here. Volume was a little weak comparatively to the last 2 weeks, but hey, MACD looks like it wants to get positive, and 60 is a relatively healthy number, right? It's very, very easy to see that we basically have been coming to 60, coming down, 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 coming to 60, coming down. So, you know, stocks repeat themselves, right? That's why we believe in technical analysis, right? So right now you cannot assume, all right? This thing was a high RSI. It just came back down. Again, you can't assume it's going to go back up. And really, as I'm looking at it, maybe going back up to 46 is going to make it a little too... That 46 might be hard to break. I am not sure it's going to be able to break 46 without earnings, but like I said, if it does, oof, that could be a good move to 66. All right, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. We're going to end it here with GWAV. All right, really quickly. I don't say this on a lot of stocks. all right, I kind of started with it, so I'll say, look, I'm not here to tell you buy, sell, hold. I'm not here to fall in love with a stock or hate a stock. I'm not a fanboy. To me, these are all just random 3, 4, 5-letter tickers, right? And I kind of let these colorful lines tell me a story, okay? Number one, I do not like a stock that does a reverse split. I don't care if it's a 1 for 150, 1 for 15, or even a 1 for 2. Reverse splits are not good. All right, believe me, I've seen it go up after reverse splits, right? Like, I've seen them, but lo and behold, over your long trading career, reverse splits are not a good thing, all right? I've always kind of assumed it takes about 2-3 months for the market to forgive a reverse split. That's for sure not backed with data. Like I said, I've literally seen it where the next day it goes up like 80% after the reverse split. It's silly, right? But whatever. We've done the reverse split. It's been about a month. And this thing's close, all right? It is close. You hear me say it all the time. If you can break the 8, you're going to go to the 20. And I'll tell you, I remember looking at it right here, hoping that it would go from down here to basically this line. This 240 line is on an arbitrary red candle. As I zoom out, you know I never make them on red candles, right? But yeah, that is actually what I was hunting. It was about half of this big boy right here. Clearly, it never happened, right? We basically just kind of stay with that 8 moving average, and it gives that 20 enough time to come. And hey, lo and behold, we're actually seeing an interesting doji over the 20 moving average, right? So what's a doji? A doji is a relatively small body. Like this right here is a textbook doji. Sticks up, sticks down, body in the middle. For me, this is close enough and I would call it a doji, all right? Some people thought it should have gone this high. Some people thought it should have closed under the 20 moving average. Hey, lo and behold, it actually closes right here. Not too shabby, right? What I like here is if this can break the 20, red could make an easy green, and that's a real big move from under 2 to above 5. All right, I see it. I obviously do. All right, my biggest concern is we've been here before. We've been here before where the 8 came down, 8 came down, 8 came down. We never made the move. We never made the move. We never made the move. They finally caught up. Doesn't make the move, all right? The difference, I would say, is we're actually never over the 20 moving average right there. We actually are right here. So, hey, it's a little bit different than last time, and obviously someone can see it. It eventually happens. But, you know, I'm not a fan of just assuming that eventual. For me, and yeah, for sure, we can't do it. What I would want to do, I'm going to try to do 2 things. Oh, what's your number? We're already over that. What's this bottom number? You open at 320. No, sorry. You close at 188. What was your high? Oh, your wick was 188. I would set an alert. I'll be honest, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it. All right. I'll do this for the... All right. I'm going to set an alert. So we just said 188. I'm going to do 193. Let me see what happens at 193. All right. Get me like about right here. Yeah, not bad. Right here. 194 would even be a decent alert. Maybe I'll start to believe we're going to head on up to 240. Again, this is a pretty arbitrary line. The red candles aren't places where I make resistances. It could be a very interesting climb if it does, all right? MACD is definitely negative. RSI is definitely healthy. But look, it's kind of like the same thing I just said on the last one. We go up to 50-ish just to come back down, just to go back up, just to come back down. We might be going up just so that we can continue on going down. Because as I zoom out, all I'm really looking at is a stock that's going under all the moving averages. And it's a stock that lives under all the moving averages. It looks like that 100 is still on its way down. The 50 is still on its way down. That 200 hasn't even started curving. I'm seeing a stock that's closer to all-time lows than a good move, all right? I would not be thinking about a $6, $5, or $4 target. I think the highest this would immediately go is probably 240. Hey, we'll see what it looks like if it even gets close to that, right? But realistically, if this gets near 160 or lower, I would be very, very worried of going down to probably another 140 if I had to guess, 130. That would be my next assumption down. This thing's close. This is a decent chart. We had this setup before and it didn't do it, all right? So just kind of remember that. Where are we on the weekly? I mean, we're really far away from the 8 moving average. All right. And as much as we want to believe we might go up, we might go up, we might go up, we might go up, we actually never do that right there. Right. And, you know, we're negative here. That's not really a pretty RSI. And I mean, you have volume from this pop here to where we're at now isn't the best, but hey, the last 2 weeks out of these 2 out of the 3 weeks are, I'm going to say it again. I think there are better setups out there, but hey, let's see what it does. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much.